We're going to use an example, one of my approach plates. This is the LPV25 into Rockford, Illinois, KRFD, and we'll just use it as an example. Then we'll erase it and start over from scratch and show you how you would do it. And again, these are just the tools that you would use to put whatever you want in. I happen to like to highlight my initial approach fixes. So if I'm given an approach plate at the last minute, I don't have to go looking pinch and zoom to say, I'm sorry, direct tongue, where's tongues? Give me a minute. It's big and bold. My initial approach fixes here are Smula at 2500, UJAV at 2500, tongue at 2500. Then my 3 green gear down to go down final approach fix is Suge. Then my decision altitude is 990, and my field elevation is 740. I also happen to have my tower frequency, 118.1, nice and big, so I don't have to pinch and zoom in looking for it. And then down at the bottom, I have my going missed information highlighted in a red box. I also have, a bit gratuitous in this example, a post-it note. Here the FBO is Emory on your right. In other cases, it might be beware of deer after dark, or where they put the keys, things like that. I'm going to highlight the technical things, and then there's here it's the white callout box with black on white. In my case, these are my personal performance settings when established inbound. 17 inches of manifold pressure, first notch of flaps, and 100 knots of target airspeed. Okay, these are the basics. There are the text boxes, which are the initial approach fixes. Text boxes with call-out lines, which is like the 17 inches and first notch of flaps. There are the boxes, like the missed approach information. And there's the memos. There's also one other tool which we don't use, but I'll just highlight, or I don't use it. And if you tap on the pencil, you get a whole slew of things, like the boxes, straight lines, circles, squares, etc. And there's one, the default one is the pencil, which you can use to draw anything you want to, circle things, make notes, draw your own arrows if your handwriting is better than mine, etc. And then you can hit the undo button and undo all of your mistakes. Now, let's erase this and start from scratch and show you how you do it all. Okay, now I have started with a completely blank approach plate. I need to start from scratch. Okay, let's start by adding the text box for the initial approach fixes. I'll start with Smula at 2500. So I tap and hold any place, and it brings up a little menu, and text box is here. It's also available from the top menu, but it's right here, so let's grab it. Tap text, and up comes a little editor with a box included, and I just start typing. So I'll do 2500 first. Enter or return, and then Smula. But notice that after the first letter, it automatically wants to put everything lowercase. I prefer them uppercase, so I double tap the Shift key, and that puts it into caps locks. So now it's Smula. Tap anywhere on the screen to clear, tap and hold, and move it someplace out of the way. You want it to be big enough so that you can read it easily, but not so big that it obscures everything else. Okay, tap and clear. Now I want to do the same thing with UJAV, but I don't want to do this from scratch. I want to copy and paste. So I tap, type copy. Now I tap any place. Ooh, now I have a paste option. Move that into position. Now I can type edit. And the cursor is at the A in Smula, so I backspace that and put in UJAV. And again, double tap. Tap to clear, and I've just done UJAV. Tap to clear that, and I'm going to do tongue. Now I want to do tongue. I'll do it fast because I don't want to bore you. Tap and hold, paste, and I'm going to edit and get rid of Smula and put in tongue. Fortunately, then tap any place to clear. Fortunately, all of these happen to be at 25. Otherwise, I would also have to edit the altitudes. And again, I'll be putting that someplace where it'll be out of the way. And tap, paste, and I'm going to do Edit, and I'm going to put the final approach fix, which is WUBOV. Backspace, double tap. And now I want to change that as a mnemonic to green background, as in 3 green gear down to go down. Tap my fill color, and I take a green. No, it's too light. Yeah, that's too dark. I want to find one that's just right. Tap any place to clear. Tap and move this any place where it's out of the way. And I now have WUBOV. Now I want to just add text boxes for my decision altitude, which is 986, which I'll make 990 because I don't like looking at digits when 990 is good enough for me. Tap and hold, and I'm going to create this one from scratch just to be on the safe side, and I'll make it 990, and I'm going to change the background color to red, as in don't go deeper than this. Tap, tap, and then I want my field elevation to be 740. So again, tap, text, 740. And this one I'm going to make the fill color be black. My personal choice, no particular reason why it's one color versus the other. Tap, and then put that here. Again, all pretty much arbitrary. Now, I don't want the 740 to be that big, so I tap. Now I go to something called the inspector. I can change the font size. Tap to make it something like 12. It'll be consistent. There's 12. I now have all my major text boxes, but also like the one that talks about doing 17 inches of manifold as I turn inbound, my performance ones. So I'm going to create that one as well. Tap, text. I could also paste it from one of the other existing initial approach fixes, but this one's very different, so I'll just do it from scratch. And I just type in what it is that I want, which is 17 inches, and then a slash, flaps 1, and 100 knots. Now I want that to be a little bit bigger, and so I also have the 12 point here, which I can do from here as well, and I'll make that bigger. But the one thing that I cannot do from here that I do need the full-blown inspector for is I tap here, go to the inspector, and here's the thing that says style. See how this one has the arrows for the callout boxes? I do that. And it turns out that I really want the font color to be black and the fill color to be white. So I'll make the font color to be black, which is temporarily making it black on black, which is invisible, and the fill color to be white. Tap to clear. Tap and drag. And now the only thing that I need to do is arrange this tap. Okay. Callout box, that's a little big. So I'm going to go to the inspector, and I'm going to move that down to something like 14. Close enough. Tap. Move it back. I'm good. Okay. Now, I just want to do the lines from the initial approach fixes to their spots on the map, which I cannot do with my choice of color schemes using the callout box, which I could, because the arrow will always be the color of the font, which in my case, for the initial approach fixes and the final approach fix, are white, and a white arrow on a white approach plate just don't look like anything. So I make lines. Go to the pencil key, tap on line, and I just draw myself a line, any place to any place. Tap on the line to deselect, so I'm not drawing more lines every time I touch. Tap on the inspector, and then I want a line. So the color, whatever color I want to be. So this is about the right shape. I can copy that. and then paste it and use it for all of my other lines. Copy, paste. Just want to grab the whole thing. There we have all of our basics. Now let's do the missed approach. So I'm back up here at the pencil box, which, by the way, I got from pencil, and then the square box. And then I just tap and drag my box. I deselect the box, so now I can edit the box, and I get those handles. And I can move just one wall, and I'm done. If I want to add a memo box, just to complete the example, I tap and hold, and up comes the Post-it note. Post-it note is probably trademark copyright, but we all call them Post-it notes. And then I just put in FBO on right. Done. Tap anywhere to clear, and I have it. If I want to do my tower and my runway 25, that's pretty much the same thing. My clipboard probably does not have the simple initial approach fix, so I'll just copy it from here, paste it so that I have a nice thing to start with. Click on Edit, and then do 118.8. Change the color. I happen to like blue, totally arbitrary choice. And now to get rid of the extra space, a little bit of a bug, but easy to work around. Tap this, go to the inspector, and now as you increase the size from the inspector, or decrease, it takes up any slack on the text box. Move it into position. I'm good. Copy and paste it to make the LPV25. Paste. Edit. Make this LPV25. And again, the inspector. Click on the fill color to be solid black, basically so it stands out when it's looking at it in my binder. And I want it to be much bigger than that. Tap and clear that. Bring up the inspector, because the inspector is a way where it tap to clear, tap and drag it into position. And if I want a little bit more black, grab the left handle and make it a little wider. Tap to clear. That's it. That's how we did everything. Okay, we have just spent better part of 10 minutes doing one single approach plate. Surely you're not going to spend that much time for every one. Good news is, no, you're not. First, we went a little bit slower than normal to show you the actual tools. Secondarily, copy and paste is going to be your best friend. Let's say we now need to do LPV 19 at Rockford. Here's what we do. We're going to go to the pencil, and we're going to click on the lasso, and we're going to tap and drag. Notice how as we go over the area, it selects them all, and then we say copy to the clipboard. Now I'm done. Close. Pull up LPV19. Now I'm going to tap anywhere and paste. Paste. I have everything from before, and I move it in position. Now, it's not the exact right answers, of course, but very close. For example, 118.8 is the same. LPV25 is not the right number. It's 19. But it's the right font, it's the right color, it's the right size, everything. Now what I'm going to do quickly is just move all these things off to the side and then put them in the right position. Some of them are easy. The missed approach is almost always in the same spot, so that's easy to reposition. Okay, so I start by just moving all these things off to the side. Now I draw lines to the appropriate approach fixes, like Jarmo. Now I move text boxes into position. I don't need this one, so I'll just delete it. That's always easy. Same for the line that goes to it. The minimum descent for an LPV is 936, so I edit that, replace it with 936. Because this is from the same airport, the initial approach fix altitudes are about the same, which is to say 2,500, and so it's just the names that change. So instead of Tongue, it's Jarmo. And now we're done. That took only a couple of minutes. That is the real power, and now I have done LPV 25 and LPV 19, and I can do all the other ones just as easily. And by the way, when you have a couple approaches that are from the north, the south, the east, and the west, when you copy and paste from the appropriate close enough approach, they even have the initial approach fix boxes and lines in about the same order. That's the power that you get. Yes, 8 to 10 minutes to do the first one, 2 to 3 minutes for every one thereafter.